My name is Johan, and I would like to share some memories about my grandfather Rune. It was a warm summer evening. I was 6 years old, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. My grandfather took me to the National Football Stadium Råsunda in Stockholm to watch AIK play against Gothenburg. I remember how excited I was. I had never seen AIK play before, but my granddad told me everything about them. I loved their jerseys by the first sight. They were black and yellow. I remember how big and impressive the stadium was. And just before kickoff, their anthem starts to play. Everybody at the stadium were standing up and started to sing along. I don't remember how the game ended, but the memories from the game is something I will never forget. My granddad is from a small town in the north of Sweden. He was a working class boy growing up. He was working in the mine his whole life. He didn't like to talk about the time he was working in the mines. But I have heard stories, many stories from my mom. He didn't like to talk about himself. But one time, when he was working in the mine, the alarm went off. Someone was seriously injured. He had to go down really deep into the mine. It was so dark that he could barely see anything. Then he saw a man lying there, unconscious, bleeding from his head. He had fallen down from a ladder and hurt his head. Grandad carried him on his shoulder and went up. He saved the man's life. Grandad was a sensitive man, but didn't like to show it. But we all saw it from time to time. Me and my family spent all summers growing up in our summer cabin, which is situated high up on a hill overlooking the lake. Grandad was there with us every summer. One of my fondest memories I have of my grandfather is when we used to go down to the lake in the evenings. We used to sit quietly together on the dock fishing. If we caught a fish, we always threw it back in again. I didn't understand why, but now when I'm a grown-up myself, it appears to me that it was an act of kindness. Another thing that I didn't understood is what he had on his mind when he was sitting there by himself on the dock. He used to sit there for hours. My grandfather truly was my best friend growing up, and it has now been 8 years since he passed away. I miss him dearly, and I wish that he was still here so we could once again go down to the lake and sit there close next to each other.